Not much surprise here. America's richest just keep on getting richer. That's according to the Forbes Magazine's new list of the 400 richest Americans, where top performers are growing their fortunes so fast, it's hard for new billionaires to even make the list. Poor things. Forbes Magazine senior editor Kerry Dolan is with us to break down the list. She joins us via Skype from San Francisco. Kerry, hi, how are you?
Great, how are you?
So let's just get a general overview. I mean, there is a significant portion of very wealthy people that have only gotten richer, right? What have you learned from this new list?
So the combined net worth of the Forbes 400 richest Americans hit $2 trillion this year, which is a record high. So the average net worth of each of the folks on the list is $5 billion.
And put that into perspective. What does $2 trillion mean?
That's equivalent to the GDP of Russia. It's a lot of money.
That is incredible. And I understand that there is so much wealth going around in this very elite group that it's hard for billionaires to get on the list.
Yeah, so the number 400 on the list is worth $1.3 billion, and there are 61 billionaires between $1 billion and $1.29 billion who didn't make it on the list. So yeah, $1 billion won't get you on the list anymore. Last year the cutoff was $1.1 billion, so it's that shows you how much richer people have gotten as a whole in the past year.
Indeed, I guess it's good news for them at least. So let's talk about the top three. No surprise there.
Bill Gates, no surprise, as you said, number one for the 20th year in the row. He's been number one since 1994, although he's $6 billion richer than last year at $72 billion. Number two, Warren Buffett of Berkshire Hathaway, a perennial number two on the list as well. He is the biggest gainer in terms of dollars in the past year. He's up $12.5 billion from last year at $58.5 billion. And number three, also I think for the past 6 years, Larry Ellison of Oracle Software with $41 billion. His net worth is the same as a year ago, but $41 billion is still a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, and hopefully he's not upset about that. The youngest, of course, again, is not a surprise, and that's Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, and actually, younger than him by just 9 days is a guy who's not nearly as well known, Dustin Moskovitz, who co-founded Facebook with Mark Zuckerberg. They're both 29. I think Mark's birthday is May 14th and Dustin's is May 22nd or something like that. So, and Moskovitz has left Facebook, but he still owns a bunch of the stock. And so gets him enough to get on the list.
So I think if you're on the list, you're a big winner. But let's talk about the biggest winner. Who had the biggest jump on the list?
So in percentage terms, a guy that is not a household name at all, David Duffield, who has a company, a business software company called Workday. His net worth more than tripled since a year ago, from $2.1 billion last year to $6.4 billion this year. And the interesting thing is he's 73 years old, so he's getting a lot richer at a lot older age than most anybody else on the list. He's also probably better well known for founding another business software company called PeopleSoft, which was acquired by Larry Ellison's company, Oracle, probably a decade ago or so.
There are a couple of other names that people won't recognize that had the biggest fall. You're welcome to mention them, but also another one that had a fall that was quite surprising, that's T. Boone Pickens. He even lost his billionaire status, right?
Yeah, so he was upfront about it. He made a big bet on wind energy, and the wind energy just hasn't really hasn't really come to fruition, hasn't made him any money because natural gas prices are low. So he was very upfront about his billionaire status. And yesterday, actually, so he's losing his billionaire status. Yesterday on Twitter, he tweeted back at us that he was just fine with his $950 million net worth. He was doing okay, and that he was putting it in perspective that he's already given away $1 billion. Oklahoma State University is a big beneficiary of T. Boone Pickens' money.
Yeah. He'll figure out a way to limp along, I'm sure. I found it so interesting that 4 of the top 10 on the Forbes 400 are Walton family members.
Walmart stock will take you a long way to the top. So Sam Walton, who founded Walmart, had a number of kids, and his son's wife, Christy Walton, is the richest woman on the list, the richest woman in the world. And she's got a combination of Walmart stock, and her late husband bought First Solar stock, a solar company. And that puts her a little bit ahead of her sister-in-law Alice Walton and her brother-in-law Robson Walton, and one more Walton up there. They take up a lot of the top 10. Walmart is the world's biggest retailer, and the stock is worth a lot of money.
Yeah, it looks like Jim Walton fits in there somewhere. It's Christy, then Jim, then Rob, and Alice, then Rob.
Alice and Rob, yeah.
Yeah, their dad did very well for them. And speaking of women, let's talk about the women. How many women on the list, and how are women faring when it comes to wealth acquisition?
Women are still really a minority on the list. Out of the 400 names, we had 48 women who are on there by themselves. There's another 5 women who are part of couples that co-founded businesses together. But the interesting thing about the 48 women, it's only up 3 names since last year. And of those 48, all but 7 inherited their net worth, their fortunes. So, and of those 7 who did make their own fortunes, only 3 did it completely without the help of a man or a husband. And those 3 are familiar name Oprah Winfrey, familiar name maybe to people who know eBay, Meg Whitman, now the CEO of Hewlett Packard. And the third one is not such a familiar name, Judy Faulkner, who started a electronic health records company called Epic Systems. So those are the 3 real self-made, without the help of the husband, women on the list.
And sort of out of left field, how about minorities, particularly African Americans on the list, very quickly?
Oprah, say it in one word, Oprah.
One word, Oprah it is. All right, Kerry Dolan, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day. And thank you for joining us. We'll be right back here, whether we're on the list or not. Have a good day. Bye-bye.